Nick Robinson Babylonian. Bro's cooking. I don't even know who this dude is, but 1.3 million subscribers. A gajillion subscribers, even. Schmiggle billion subscribers. Dude has more subscribers than I have time to goon in the afternoon. To be honest, this guy has the amount of subscribers that would make me cry every week and every day, to be honest. He is here. He is queer. He is the man of the hour. He is an absolute unit of testosterone. But we all know what first-person games are. Shooty bang bangs. Your first-person atmospheric walking simulators. You got your first-person survival games. Your first-person this, first-person that. We know your third-person games. Sony has made enough third-person cinematic experiences. We've seen it all. We've done it all. There's third-person games all over the place. Your Souls likes, your Nose likes, your everything. But what we don't have in the industry is your second-person video game. That's right, the second-person video game, the one that has been so alluring, the one that has kept us up at nights wondering why doesn't it exist? What kind of evil catastrophe are we in? And we're about to find out. We're about to find out, ladies and gentlemen. You're here. We're here. Let's go.
Most 3D character-driven video games can be pretty easily placed into one of two categories, either first-person or third-person. In a first-person game, you see the game world through the actual eyes of the player character as though you were that character, and in a third-person game, you see the player character from the outside, often from behind their back or from a fixed isometric perspective. But the existence of these two perspectives begs a question. If this is what a first-person game looks like, and this is what a third-person video game looks like, what exactly would second-person look like?
These are the questions you need to think about and ponder on. But by the way, this game on the left is Painkiller, which is awesome. I don't know what the game on the right is. If you know what the game on the right is, leave it down in the comments below. Like while you're down there, you goddamn degenerates.
Now, I'm not the first person to wonder about this. The question of whether or not a second-person shooter could actually exist is one that has plagued video game message boards just about as long as the internet has existed. It's also served as the premise for some pretty good comedy sketches over the years, like this one from Mega64.
Introducing the world's first second-person shooter.
And this one from The Onion.
To enter second-person shooter mode, you just simply adjust the narrative slider from first to second.
You are walking down a long corridor. Suddenly, a Nazi leaps out from around a doorway and unleashes a hail of machine gun fire in your direction.
But to help us actually figure out what a second-person game would really be, I think it would be helpful to look at this grammatically. In written language, the term first person denotes any writing where the point of view uses phrases like I or my to tell a story from the perspective of the protagonist. Third person writing, on the other hand, uses third person pronouns, for example, he went this way, she went that way, etc., to talk about characters from an outside perspective. Now, second person writing does exist, but it's kind of a weird one. In second person, the primary pronoun used is you. You do this, you go there, etc. The second person is actually a lot less.
So all video games are second person. All video games are second person. That's what it is, dude. Because you do this, you do that, you do this, and you're telling that. Oh, dude, XCOM games, all of those games like XCOM, second person. They're second person. Dude, look at me go.
Common in narrative writing, and is actually something you're more likely to encounter in, say, a list of instructions or a choose-your-own-adventure book. Now, the analogous video game camera perspectives for first and third person writing are obvious, but what about for second person? We know what an I game looks like, and we know what a he game looks like, but what about a you game? Strangely enough,
I game all the time on my streams. Look at me go.
I actually found the answer to this before I even came up with a question, and believe it or not, it came to me courtesy of a game you may have heard me talk about once before, and that game is Driver San Francisco. See, for all the interesting missions in Driver San Francisco, and there are plenty of them, there's one mission in particular that I swear to God I think about all the time. The mission in question is called The Target, and it's the final mission of Chapter 6 of the game. In the game, you play as a cop named John Tanner, who, for reasons I won't get into here, basically has a superpower that allows you to take over the bodies of any other driver and has begun using that superpower to foil a possible terror plot from a gangster named...
I've always wanted to play the Driver games. I've never played any of them. I think it goes Driver 1, 2, 3, and then San Francisco, but I haven't... this game looks really good. I didn't even know there was Driver San Francisco, to be honest.
named Jericho. Over the course of the game, Tanner decides that the best way to unravel Jericho's plans is to do it from the inside, and in order to do that, Tanner takes over the body of a low-level henchman named Ordell and uses his driving skills to help move Ordell up the ranks. The final mission in this story arc sees you inhabiting Ordell's body one last time to complete a major assignment from his boss Layla, who is this international assassin and Jericho's second in command. Tanner's plan? Warp into Ordell's body and, without arousing suspicion, drive Layla and Ordell directly into police custody. Now the mission begins as normal with Tanner and his partner Jones driving their iconic orange Dodge Challenger, and soon enough you warp into Ordell's body with Layla in the passenger seat where she gives you some clarity on your mission.
Ordell, I need nothing but your best today.
What's going down?
Jericho's got a problem he wants fixed. Get me to the target and I'll fix it.
So you drive to the destination she's given you, closing in on your target, and as you get close, this happens.
This happens, and then it shows just some like hypersexualized anime girl, bro. You fly into the ass of an anime girl. That's what happens. That's why it's a second-person game. You fly into the ass of an anime girl, and everyone leaves happy.
Slow down. We should acquire the target anytime now. The yellow Dodge, up ahead. Stay close, but don't be obvious.
That's my car.
What? That's the cop that's been getting in our way.
Do we follow him to the target?
He is the target.
It's you.
Oh no.
You've been assigned to kill you.
Oh shit, dude, this is a sick-ass mission, bro. Why haven't I ever heard of this game?
Now, after that,
I think I have Driver 3. I don't know. I have one of the drivers for original Xbox. That is usually I turn on every game that I buy, but that one I got like with a bunch of games, and I just never thought to play it.
cutscene ends, you are back in Ordell's body in the first person with Layla sitting to your right. But then, you press the throttle to accelerate, and the car in front of you moves. You steer to the left and to the right, and the car in front of you moves to the left and then to the right. And then quickly it sinks in that the car you're controlling is actually the car you're following. Your perspective as the player is entirely separate from what you're controlling as the player. In other words, you're pursuing you. Now, as you can see, the car that you're sitting in is moving too, but crucially, you're not the one who's controlling that car. The car you're sitting in is moving automatically, seemingly operated by an AI-controlled driver who's tailing the car you're actually controlling. It's basically like a chase mission in any other video game, just like you've seen countless other times, except for this time, it's flipped on its head. This time, you're the one being followed, while simultaneously seeing it all unfold from the perspective of the car doing the following. And while it's hard for me to guess how well this comes across on video, all these elements combine to make something that is very, very odd to play. There's something...
This is one of the coolest ideas. I'm guessing it's really annoying in-game. I'm not gonna lie. Dude, something like this in-game was probably a nightmare, dude. This shit probably sucked. Because, like, the control... Well, it probably was wonky and something to get over, and it probably took a couple times to actually get the mission down right. But this is such a cool idea. I'm surprised I haven't seen anything like this in a game before.
Shocking and disorienting about seeing a first-person perspective on your screen, but also not controlling that perspective while remotely operating the car that you're tailing. It's the closest a video game has ever gotten to feeling like a true out-of-body experience, and it's an experience that has stuck with me ever since I first played this game back in 2011. Now, when I first played Driver San Francisco 8 years ago, I kind of just played through this mission once, start to finish, marveling at the unique perspective that this mission granted you, but then moving on to the rest of the game. But I've always felt like if I ever came back to this game, I'd want to pick this mission apart and see what makes it tick, and that's part of what I hope to accomplish with this video. See, as cool as this mission is, it's also pretty linear. The whole thing takes place with you driving down this completely locked down race course with no exits or detours, pretty much just a straight shot to the exit. I've always assumed that the developer Reflections designed the mission this way due to the technological limitations of this weird second-person camera that they built just for this mission. Perhaps there was no way for them to get this camera to behave properly in the actual open world with all the various streets, elevations, and alleyways you could dip into, not to mention the other street traffic, and on top of that, they built this mission with a pretty strict countdown timer forcing you to hit the checkpoints in rapid succession, something that I always assumed was placed there to keep you from ever veering too far off the path and breaking the game somehow. Still, I've always wondered about the actual limitations of this mission, and I knew that this time around I wanted to test out whether or not there was any way to escape, so before finishing the mission, I paused, started it over, and then this time, instead of starting the race as intended, I swung the car into a 180, driving the car backwards in the wrong direction. Now, when I do this, the AI driver immediately begins panicking, rapidly spinning the steering wheel, trying desperately to keep my car visible in frame, and then eventually it turns around 180 degrees to reveal what looks like the entire open world of Driver San Francisco, seemingly 100% accessible to the player. Now, I drove away from the racetrack and began exploring, and I kept bracing myself to hit some kind of invisible wall or failure state for going off course, but it never happened. It all actually worked. I merged into traffic and the second-person camera followed me, immaculately bobbing and weaving through the other cars on the road.
Dude, I don't know why they didn't like expand or do like a mini game where you could like an option to play like this, because this is so cool, dude. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I've never even heard of this game. I thought it ended after like Driver 3.
Around this time that I noticed there was no timer. It turns out that Reflections had generously designed this mission, intentionally or unintentionally, so that the mission countdown timer doesn't actually begin until you reach the first checkpoint, meaning that if you never hit that first checkpoint, you can drive around forever. This led to what I can only describe as a transcendent video game experience. It felt like I was seeing something that I was never meant to see. This ability to explore the city as much as I wanted to, all from this wholly unique, extremely surreal second-person viewpoint. It felt like a magical experience and one that almost nobody else has experienced for themselves. Now, revisiting this mission and managing to escape the confines laid down by the developers all those years ago, I really wanted to try and push this thing to its limits. I couldn't resist trying to break things a little. I drove the car off ramps, into oncoming traffic, all of it, but surprisingly, it held together perfectly. That is, until I tried one specific
Dude, I can't get over how insanely cool this is. Very nice. But I can't get over how insanely cool of an idea this is, and just how like interesting of a concept this whole thing is, and why I've never seen anything like this in a game before.
See, I haven't talked about it before, but this mission actually does have a failure condition. In the lower right corner of the screen, there's a health meter, and it represents the health of Tanner's car, the car you're chasing/driving. But if you get into one too many collisions while driving this car in the second person, you can actually run out of health, causing Tanner to die and the mission to end in a loss. Now, this is actually pretty hard to achieve on the default mission path they laid out, but driving into oncoming lanes of traffic and ramping off car transporters had taken its toll on my vehicle, and I only had a small sliver of health left. Wanting to explore this mission as long as possible, I gingerly pulled Tanner's car into a narrow alleyway and then decided to try out the one thing I hadn't attempted yet. I turned around and drove the car in the second person directly at myself.
Bro was like, kamikaze mode, bro. Kamikaze mode on a bitch. Kamikaze mode on a bitch. She didn't know what hit her. You came in a coming, and they didn't know what hit her.
Put the AI driver in a weird position. It now had to drive backwards just to keep me in the frame, and it was also narrowly sandwiched between the two walls of the alley, giving it almost no room to maneuver. I kept driving towards myself, putting on the pressure closer and closer, and then...
Oh!
Nice work.
It broke. All at once, the second-person vehicle shoots into a wall, clips through it, and then launches hundreds of feet into the air. Briefly, one frame at a time, we can get glimpses of the chaos that unfolded. We see the car inside the wall, then we see the car...
Oh my god, this is so cool. I like that he just ended up breaking the game, but this is just also just weird.
Front console flipped over. We see what appears to be the ocean floor, and then the pavement as seen from underneath. We see rooftops, the driver's arm, the sky, trees, abstract geometry, and then the city from above, flooded with unloaded geometry. After that, we see the car spinning and spinning in midair, giving us glimpses of San Francisco from above, before finally getting so high that nothing can be seen but endless ocean. And then, black. Suddenly, all at once, the car snaps back.
Bro, the dude's picking music on this. He goes so hard. The music's so perfect for this. I am terrible with picking music. I literally go in, I pick up the game soundtrack, and then I put it underneath the video I make. My videos are also like chaos incarnate and like just absolute nut job behavior for reviews. So maybe one day I'll get better, get some editors or something. I don't fucking know. But I do appreciate when I see something that's just brilliantly done, and I'm kind of curious how long it took him to make this video.
Back to Earth. The health meter for Tanner's vehicle turns blindingly white, and then the second-person viewpoint fills with an orange-yellow hue, Tanner's car. Quickly, it becomes clear that the second-person car has somehow spawned inside of Tanner's vehicle, dealing infinite damage to the car. A deafening crash sound can be heard, and shattered glass flies everywhere, and then, for a brief moment, right before the mission ends, the camera inexplicably shifts into Tanner's car, where the car is balanced on its nose, its windshield shattered, thrust impossibly through another vehicle. And then, horrifically, the camera clips through the back of Tanner's partner's head and shows us the backside of his eyeballs and tongue. A truly terrifying second-person perspective if ever there was one.
Bro, now somebody would literally do this, post it on Twitter, and say the game sucks.
Shaken by my otherworldly encounter seemingly brought on by pushing this already existential mission to its limits, I reset the mission and played beginning to end one last time, this time careful to do it the right way, not wanting to disturb whatever eldritch being I'd upset by breaking the mission in the first place. After all, I thought, I know that every mission in Driver San Francisco ends with a continue and retry option, so if I really wanted to explore this mission again, I could always hit the retry button to give it another shot after running through it normally. So, I proceed to complete the mission as intended, a mission, by the way, that ends with the antagonist Jericho actually taking over your body and attempting to drive you into a lethal car accident.
You mean Jericho?
Sit back and enjoy the show. Not many people get to watch themselves die.
A problem that Tanner decides to solve by, disturbingly enough, shifting for the first and only time in the game into his partner Jones's body. Yes, that partner.
What the hell's going on?
Anyways, I go to finish the mission the normal way, staying on the path, fully expecting the restart option that appears after most missions to show up. Instead, I get to the end of the mission, and for some reason that I still can't explain, the only option was continue. The reset option had vanished. Panicked, I quickly hit Alt F4 and exited the game, hoping I could load up my save file and play through the mission again, but it was too late. It had already auto-saved over my file, and the mission was gone with no way to replay it again.
Oh no. Oh no, poor guy. Luckily he got that recording, or you would have had to play the whole game up into that point again. That would have really sucked, dude. If he didn't have like OBS on or some shit, or he like whatever he was doing to save, he just didn't have it. Like, I've had it where I was playing a game, right, and my OBS I thought was saving my game footage, but it was just a black screen right here. And I went to like, because what I do is this is kind of a weird way of doing it because my PC doesn't have a lot of storage. So what I do is I upload them up to private on YouTube, and then I download them like to my phone, and then cut out what I need, and then re-upload them again, and then I edit. It's like a long process, but I get it to where it's shorter. It's fucking convoluted. It's the worst way to make videos, probably. I'm assuming, but I make decent enough shit. Get off of my back, you weirdos.
Look, Driver San Francisco is a game full of weird, interesting, strikingly designed missions, but to me, the target has always stood out as the perfect example of what makes this game special. Video games are an entire medium built around taking over others' bodies, and Driver San Francisco is a richly existential and metatextual reflection of this idea. This mission in particular brought these ideas to the fore in a way that I wasn't fully prepared for, and that I'm only now beginning to wrap my head around years and years later. Even writing the script for this video felt like a mind-bending exercise in trying to explain something that is borderline unexplainable. You really have to play it for yourself to get a full sense of how crazy this mission feels. In designing this mission, Reflections took decades of 3D video game conventions and turned them on their head to create what feels like a truly out-of-body experience. That, to me, is an accomplishment worth celebrating. Please play Driver San Francisco.
Dude, I kind of want to play this game now, but I think it's just a driving game. I don't know. Like, if it was closer to Grand Theft Auto, then I'd be like, yeah, dude, I'll play it. But I'm not really a fan of, like, racing and driving games.
Here. Who's in your body?
Well, no one. Oh, God.
Alright, so a couple quick updates on the Driver San Francisco situation. The petition to get Ubisoft to relist the game that I mentioned at the end of my last video is now at over 70,000 signatures, which is insane.
What?
Please, if you have any interest
This game's unlisted? Why?
in this game, please sign this petition. It now feels like 100,000 is within our grasp, which is crazy, and
Wait. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know. I mean, if I type in driver, it should be there, right? Is it gone? Is it still gone? What? Is it? I mean, when I looked it up on Steam, it didn't come up. So no, dude, it's gone. Delisted. Yeah. Remove from Steam, but you can still buy it. Yeah, dude, it's still delisted. Huh. You know, it might have been a licensing issue with the car companies, because I know that happens. That's why the Forza games get pulled. That's why the Forza and the Gran Turismo games get pulled from storefronts, is because of they use actual cars.
Can't believe I'm saying, but it could happen, which to me feels like an unignorable number. But in the meantime, as you might have noticed, Ubisoft has not relisted the game. They have been ignoring the 70,000 signatures we have. And on a totally unrelated note, not connected at all, Driver San Francisco, since my video last month, has been in the top 10 most downloaded games on the Pirate Bay. Totally no relationship there, not mentioning
Whoa!
that for any reason at all, just saying.
Dude, the people are on the high seas getting the game.
The game is not available, and it's also one of the most pirated video games, and has been in the top 10 most pirated games for the past month.
This is rude. This is very rude of me, but that haircut does not work for his face structure. Dude, I mean, I'm a chubby guy. I get it, bro. I get it. What you do is you grow the beard out, and then don't do the hang over the side shit. It does not work if you have a chubby face. You think you look like a fucking anime character or a badass or like a fucking punk rock artist, but that only works if you're fucking really skinny and don't eat. Once you get some chub, this is a dog shit haircut on you. I'm serious. Look. Like, if I were to take my fucking hair and put it out, look how shitty it looks on me, dude. Look how fucking dog shit. My hair's not quite as long as his, but let's see if I can get something going like that. Look how dog shit that looks on me, dude. It looks fucking atrocious, bro. Atrocious. It looks bad. It looks fucking goobly gobbled garbage, bro. There is no way this haircut looks good. So what you do is you pull it back, you look like a badass, you're fine. But it's just a bad haircut choice, and I get that it's like a lot of people like it, but if you are chubby whatsoever, this is stupid. It looks retarded on you, dude. It looks absolutely ass cheeks. Do not do this. Just don't. Pull it back, be a savage. I don't understand why you would. It's bothering me so much.
A coincidence. Also, totally unrelated to the fact that this game is apparently very popular on Pirate Bay. Did you know that if you go to nordvpn.org/Babylonia...
Oh, dude, shut up, bro. Bro, you got me. You got me with your ad. But, yeah, great video. I do have to say that haircut looks garbage, bro. Haircut looks weak as fuck. That is a weak-ass haircut, and, L haircut. There's a space between hair and cut. Alright. Good video, though. Really good video. I really enjoyed this video. I thought it had good pacing, good timing, good music. Really good music. It was a lot to think on, a lot to ponder on. But yeah, that was it. Get a better haircut, bro. I don't know when this came out. 5 years ago. This literally came out 5 years ago. So, maybe he has a better haircut now. Let's check it out. How one tweet changed the Yakuza series. Here's one with his face. Here we go. Well, we just need to see his haircut now.
Before we continue, I just want to say
Much better, dude. Much better. Still got a little bit of rinky dink right here. Still got a wrinkle, but he went with the beard. It's looking better. It slims up your face. Still some rinky dinkness, but let's see how he looks in the wild here. Alright, dude. Let's see your hair. I don't need to hear your fucking funky tunes music. I need to see your hair, bro. Here we go. Here we go.
Yo, I'm bad at all three of these games. I don't think I could pass as a Japanese high school student.
No, you definitely could not because you're a white dude.
So my dream of joining the Gunma Esports League might have just crashed and burned.
Okay, where's your face? Where's your face, my dude? Where is it? Give me your face. That's the reason. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Way better on him. Way better fit. That's a way better fit. I wonder if he goes back to his videos like 5 years ago and is like, God, my haircut looked like ass cheeks. God, that shit was mid as fuck. God damn.
As possible while the sun was still up, because the sun's been setting at like 4:30 p.m. here, which I succeeded at. It's like, what, 1:45? I got plenty of time. So I'm gonna go eat for the first time today, maybe find a coin locker to throw my backpack and laptop in.
But yeah, no. W haircut here. I am gonna comment. W haircut. And this is much better. This is good. I like this. I like this is a better change as a person, as a fucking unit. He's an absolute unit for getting a better haircut. Dude was at bad haircut territory. He was slowly descending to I am fucking cringe and a loser, but he has successfully gotten out of cringe loser haircut. So that's that. His name is Nick Robinson. Nick Robinson. For those of you who watch my shit but somehow don't know who the fuck Nick Robinson is, he's got like a giggity schmoodle amount of fucking subscribers. So yeah, there you go.